They really do. I want you to turn real quickly with me. We're going to cover a lot of things right now, but I don't want to go and get it in front of you here. But let me give you some scriptures that I wanted to get to. 1 Peter 3:1. Why don't you go ahead and write these scriptures down? 1 Peter 3:1. I'll just maybe let you find a place to mark it. Hebrews 12:11 through 15. Colossians 3:12, 13 through 19. And Proverbs 31:10 through 29. I want you, if we don't read all these, I want you to make sure that you read them when you get home. First of all, let's go to 1 Peter. And we're only going to read one verse, I think, from the 3rd verse. Likewise, you wives, be in subjection to your own husband. Now, we'll get all that straightened out in a minute. Don't raise your eyebrows at me. That you be in subjection to your own husbands, that if any obey not the word, talking about the husbands, they also may without the word be won by the conversations of their wives. Do you hear what I'm saying, girls? If you're here tonight and you're cold in Jesus and you're upset and you're bound in a marriage that's got you broken, you're tired of the bickering, you're tired of the arguing, that husband that may not know Jesus Christ, the Bible said we can win him through our conversations. I have to tell you something before we get any further. My mother lived with my father 50 years before he was ever a Christian. I saw my mother abused. I've seen my father break her glasses over her face, curse and ridicule her, and run me away from home when I was 12 years old. But I watched my mother faithfully go to church when she could, that he didn't really, whip her around for going. I seen my mother faithfully always to pray, and through her little blinded eyes, one legally blind eye and the other almost gone, tried to stumble through to find the word to read it. And I've walked to the bedroom door of my mother many times and heard her by the hours praying. She would not give up on my daddy, and my daddy would go with just any woman. He would drink, he would carouse, he would abuse the children, but my mother never gave up on him, never one time. 50 years, girls, is a long time. My mother was an unlearned, uneducated little Kentucky hillbilly girl that really didn't know how to help my father a lot, because she was illiterate and she wasn't wise to a lot of things, but she loved Jesus Christ. But my mother's conversation and her actions was the reason my father is in heaven tonight, because she hung on. And when my dad was in a car wreck and given up to die, and I led him to Jesus on his deathbed, he asked me to lead him to the Lord. When I prayed with him and he found Jesus, he went home to live 9 years, walking on a walking cane. He and mother were like newlyweds, like they just had gotten married. 9 years. It was the cutest thing you ever saw, because mother's conversation was holy. She was patient. She endured, really, 50 years. Now that's a long time. Conversation of the wife. We can lead them to Christ, but I got news for you, girls. We don't lead them to the Lord by nagging. But women never learn how to control the man by gentleness of speech. They never learn that. I'm going to real quickly read this. I don't usually have this many scriptures, but I kind of felt like doing this tonight. In Hebrews, the 12th chapter and the 11th verse, I want to read you something. Now, no chastening for the present seemeth to be joyous, but grievous. Nevertheless, afterward it yieldeth the peaceable word. It yieldeth fruit, of righteousness unto them which are exercised thereby. Wherefore, lift up the hands which hang down and the feeble knees. Now, girls, please apply this to your unsaved husband or your weak Christian husband, whatever, okay? In your chastising, even in your fury and in your grief, when you think, I can't bear it, then the scripture comes right along and says, now, lift up the hands that hang down and the feeble knees. Out of your needs, you give. Out of your hurts, you give to somebody else, and the Lord brings healing to you. And folks, I'm going to tell you something. Standing here looking you over, there's some hurting women sitting right here tonight. And you're frustrated, and you love your husband, but you're broken. And you can see it in your expressions, and all you think about is me, 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 because you've got a broken heart. You've been hurt, you've been crushed, you're bleeding inside, but you don't want to tell anybody. But I'm telling you that out of your brokenness, you give to somebody else. You give to your husband even though he curses you, rouses you, upsets you, and talks about you, and talks against you and hurts your feelings. You've got to lift up the hands that hang down. See, his hands are hanging down and his knees are feeble. And he needs you to lift him. Out of that, the Lord will supply you your needs. Let me just quickly finish up the rest of this. And make straight paths. Now listen to this. And make straight paths for your feet, lest that which is lame be turned out of the way, and let it rather be healed. Okay? Read all this when you get home. Follow peace with all men, and holiness, without whether no man shall see the Lord, looking diligently, lest any man fail of the grace of God, lest any root of bitterness springing up trouble you, and thereby many be defiled. I want you to hear that. The root of bitterness springs up, causing you trouble and causing many to be defiled. In the middle of the brokenness of women, of proud women that are used to having, when I say proud, I'm not talking about women that are covered in gold and pearls and diamonds and furs and antebellum homes and Mercedes to drive. That's not what makes a woman proud. What makes a proud woman is to have good health, a great family, a saved husband, saved children, secure, and have things that we need, and enough money that we can be happy and not have to struggle from week to after week after week after week. Proud women are women that are joyous and filled with the joy of the Lord. That's what makes a woman proud. I'm telling you. People have got this all mixed up. You're proud because you hold your head up high. You better know women that love Jesus and have all this security are proud women. But when a woman has been betrayed and the husband has hurt her and caused problems in the family and been untrue and unfaithful to her, the woman that looks so proud that maybe didn't have but 2 or 3 dresses to wear, she was still proud. She went to church. She loved her children. She was a great cook. She made clothes and all this great things. That woman all of a sudden takes on a characteristic that nobody likes to be around her because she's been broken. And you change overnight. You change. And the thing that I need to say to you women tonight is when the bitterness starts, it starts out of women that can't forgive in the middle of all their brokenness. Forgiveness is the worst spreading disease that can ever get in your body. Ever. I want you to hear me out. Unforgiveness is a disease that spreads. Bitterness in women especially will spread through your body. You'll have nervous breakdowns. You'll have cancer. You'll have kidney problems. You'll have skin diseases. You'll have a nervous breakdown because, see, bitterness has a root deeper than anything else in the world can get inside of a woman is bitterness. Bitterness causes unforgiveness, and unforgiveness causes sin, and sin will cause death. Hear close, girls, what I'm saying. I deal with women all the time, and I've seen some of the saddest people, Brenda, in the world.